So they can't fire me. First of all, they fire me. They got to pay me for 7 years, and I'm gonna quit way before then. But if they want to fire me, I would love for them to do that.
I want you to
Uh,
win, but I don't want you to win more than me. Now I see if you win more than me, now I got to question your sexuality.
Yeah.
I got to question, how black are you? Because, bro, I'm like, come on, man. I mean,
But that's cause you fools on other networks, which we gonna become fools next year. We be working on that network. But Oklahoma City and the Cavs been balling for 6 months.
So it looks like there's some behind the scenes drama that might finally explain why Charles Barkley is suddenly making bold moves at ESPN and why Shannon Sharpe seems to be spiraling right in the middle of it all. At first everyone thought it was just a coincidence. Shannon stepping back, Charles stepping up, but now new whispers and leaked audio are painting a much messier picture. And it may have way more to do with jealousy, sabotage, and a power move gone wrong. Because according to sources, Shannon Sharpe may have secretly tried to block Barkley's ESPN deal right as his own career was falling apart due to that explosive lawsuit and a string of off-camera slip-ups. And here's where it gets interesting. Despite Charles Barkley's controversial takes, off-script behavior, and recent criticism of ESPN itself, they're still handing him the keys. No penalties, no pushback. So why is ESPN standing by Chuck while quietly phasing Shannon out? Was Shannon really trying to get Barkley fired? Is this a case of professional jealousy, or is something deeper going on behind the scenes? Let's break it all down. Insiders close to ESPN are saying that Shannon Sharpe has been less than thrilled ever since Charles Barkley started showing up more and more on the ESPN scene. Barkley's charm, brutal honesty, and long-standing appeal with viewers made him the perfect pickup once TNT lost the NBA rights. Now allegedly Sharpe, who's been under intense scrutiny after a SA lawsuit was filed against him by a woman reportedly just out of her teens, felt the walls closing in with Barkley rumored to be taking on a bigger role. It's being said that Shannon tried to pull strings behind closed doors to keep Chuck out the building. Yes, sabotage. And get this, people are whispering that Sharpe even tried feeding higher-ups info about Barkley's past controversies, hoping ESPN would think twice about letting him take over, but it didn't work. If anything, it backfired.
Oh, he said the Lakers. First of all, the Lakers have had a great 2 weeks. He said the Lakers saved the NBA season. That's because them fools on the other network, which we're going to be working for next year, that's all they talk about.
But here's the twist. While Shannon was busy trying to air out Chuck's skeletons, the reality is Barkley's so-called controversies aren't even from the past. They're recent and they're well documented, but ESPN, they're not blinking. Let's start here. Back in 2022, Charles Barkley signed a massive 10-year, $210 million deal with TNT. But even with that bag secured, Chuck made it very clear he wasn't planning to stick around for the full decade. He told everyone flat out he's got maybe 2 more years in him, and that's it. He said he's all about balance, and he ain't about to burn out for any network.
I've been going back and forth with TNT for the last 2 months, whether I'm gonna work 2 years or 3 years. But if I really wanted to, I could stay for 7 years, which there's no chance of that happening. Zero. But I have made it. I'm making a decision whether I'm gonna stay 2 years or 3 years, but it's more likely 2 years. But if they're gonna fire me, they'd have to pay me for 7, which they're not going to do, because I make too much money. So I'm not worried about getting fired, and nobody at ESPN is gonna tell me what to say or do. Period.
And in case anyone had doubts, Chuck even threw subtle shade at how ESPN uses its talent. He said, "I ain't gonna be working like no dog like Stephen A. Smith." Yeah, that wasn't a casual comment. Barkley basically drew a line in the sand, letting it be known he's not about that overworked ESPN grind.
Taking no job, and I know how. Number one, the most important thing is how much I'm going to work. That's been my biggest gripe, to be honest with you. Like, well, how much am I going to work? I mean, the notion that I'm gonna work more as I get older, that's just not gonna happen.
Now you'd think comments like that would have ESPN rethinking things, right? They still rolled out the red carpet, still made space for him in their NBA plans, still gave him creative freedom. Another thing, Barkley has serious reservations about ESPN's direction for the Inside the NBA format. He's worried they're going to ruin it. Too many commercials, too much structure, too little realness. But here's where things get sticky, because fans aren't the only ones nervous about this move. move. Industry insiders, sports media critics, and even Barkley himself have all said the quiet part out loud. ESPN is going to mess this up. Let's not act brand new. ESPN has a rep for being a little too polished, a little too corporate, and way too focused on controlling the narrative. Unlike TNT, which let Chuck be Chuck, ESPN has a history of clipping personalities down to size. You gotta fit the mold, read the prompter, and keep it on brand. And we know that ain't Charles Barkley. He even dragged a pilot for a new TNT spinoff, calling it the stupidest service I've ever seen. And he said that on the record. That kind of bluntness would have gotten most people quietly booted out of a TV deal. But Charles, he's still locked in, still protected, even when he blasted ESPN for jumping the gun and hyping up Anthony Edwards as the NBA's next big thing before he actually delivered under pressure. Still no suspension, no public slap on the wrist, just business as usual.
I've been telling y'all that for 2 months. Hey, ESPN, I love you guys. Don't try to make Anthony Edwards the face of the NBA. The face of the NBA is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Joker, and Giannis. You can't give it to people. They have to take it.
Now put yourself in Shannon's shoes for a sec. He was reportedly on the verge of signing a $100 million contract. That was before the lawsuit, the IG Live fumble, and the rumors of internal ESPN tension. Then Barkley, fresh off criticizing ESPN's own practices, walks in and gets promoted, protected, worshipped. It's no wonder Shannon's allegedly feeling some type of way. The difference in treatment is loud, and here's where it gets even shadier. Word on the street is after Barkley caught wind of Shannon allegedly trying to block his ESPN bag, that's when he went on air and spoke about being too expensive and can't be fired. And guys, I'm not making this one up.
So they can't fire me. First of all, they fire me. They got to pay me for 7 years, and I'm going to quit way before then. But if they want to fire me, I would love for them to do that.
That comment alone sent shockwaves. It wasn't just confidence, it was a subtle warning, a power flex. Chuck knows his worth, and more importantly, he knows ESPN needs him right now. And that's where the insecurity comes in. Instead of cleaning up his image, Shannon's allegedly trying to play defense by going after Barkley, but it's giving desperation, not strategy. Now, word on the street is Charles found out, and let's just say he wasn't pleased. According to sources, he let a few people around him know that he's not here to play Shannon's little game. Barkley's not the type to do boardroom beef, but y'all know when he's pissed, he'll say it. While Charles is securing a multi-year deal, staying booked and unbothered, Shannon's career is turning into a case study of self-sabotage.
Let me tell y'all something.
Tell me something.
And first of all, I want all the smoke. I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard or anything like that.
I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard. I like that.
Hey, man.
I'm stealing that one.
The Lakers are doing great.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, that $50 million lawsuit. A woman, Gabriela Zuniga, came forward accusing Shannon of SA and threatening behavior, claiming she was barely legal when their alleged relationship began. Now, we don't know the whole truth, but that lawsuit hit hard, and here's where it gets messier. Just weeks before the news broke, Shannon went live on IG and forgot to log off. And y'all, the footage was not cute.
Come on, man.
In all sincerity, I'm extremely embarrassed that a very, very private, intimate situation, the audio can be heard.
Let's just say it involves some questionable behavior that gave people even more reason to side-eye him. Like one commenter said, Shannon Sharpe ruined his own career and he has no one to blame but himself. And another, they clocked the motive. Sounds like Shannon mad because they gave Barkley his raise. Sounds like a little jealousy to me. The internet is not holding back. Now let's really dive into what people are thinking. Jealousy. Charles Barkley is a legend, period. Whether you like him or not, he's consistent, he's funny, he's real. And let's not forget, Charles Barkley isn't walking into ESPN alone. He's bringing the entire inside the NBA empire with him. That means Shaq, that means Kenny, that means Ernie, even the full TNT production crew. They're moving too. The same set, same vibe, same unfiltered energy, just with a new ESPN logo stamped on it.
And like I said, even though the name changes, the engine is still the same. And to that new network we coming to, we not coming to F around. And since it's the last show, I'm gonna say it. We not coming to F around. We kicking our we taking names and we taking over.
So while Shannon was out here trying to maintain his footing, Barkley was building a full takeover. Think about it. ESPN didn't just hire one man. They brought in the whole show. That's not a promotion, that's a replacement. Insiders are already whispering that Barkley's new show is going to anchor ESPN's next era of NBA coverage, possibly even pushing Sharpe and some others further into the background. Now, pair that with the rumors that Barkley may get say-so over the new talent lineup, and what do you have? Power, influence, leverage, the kind Shannon Sharpe once thought he had, but clearly doesn't anymore. And here's a wild theory that's actually picking up steam. What if ESPN wants this beef? Think about it. Controversy gets clicks, mess keeps people watching, and with both Sharpe and Barkley trending non-stop, ESPN might be doing what media companies do best, letting the drama play out while they cash in behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Shannon's credibility is taking hit after hit, and what's worse, he's out here being petty. Word is, Shannon's been upset about not getting a pay bump to match Chuck's deal, and that ESPN has been sidelining him in light of the lawsuit. People are putting it plainly. Come on, Shaw. Chuck ain't sweating barely legal young girls. He deserves everything he gets right now. Don't hate, you blew your bag all by yourself. That's cold. But people are seeing a pattern. And speaking of patterns, let's talk about someone else Shannon's been low-key blaming for his fall from grace. Shaquille O'Neal, because here's the plot twist y'all didn't see coming. Shaq and Charles Barkley are both set to take over Shannon's lane at ESPN. TNT might have lost the NBA rights, but Shaq and Chuck, they're landing safely at the ESPN table, right where Shannon thought he'd be sitting. Now, if you've been watching closely, you already know Shannon and Shaq have had a simmering beef for years. Petty shade on air, offhand digs in interviews, little IG jabs. It's been brewing, but now, it's looking like Shaq may have played the long game. An audio recording leaked just weeks ago allegedly capturing Shaq talking to a known media fixer, someone who specializes in digging up dirt on high-profile figures. In the clip, you can hear someone who sounds very much like Shaq saying, "Find me something real on Shannon. I know it's there. I want the stuff that'll stick."
Ooh, let me work on that one right quick. That's a tough one.
Alright, and remember, I'm paying top dollar for all that information. Love you, boy. Hey, don't tell nobody.
All right, one.
All right, go.
Not long after the lawsuit dropped, Shannon's empire started crumbling brick by brick. Coincidence or coordinated? You tell me. And with Shannon already facing heat over some questionable off-camera behavior, it was the perfect storm. Behind the scenes, ESPN execs are reportedly watching all this go down. And while they're publicly supporting Sharpe, the vibe is that they're slowly phasing him out. They've already greenlit Barkley's new NBA studio show, and rumor has it he'll have a say in the new talent lineup. Which means Sharpe could be on the chopping block. Think about it. Why would ESPN keep someone bringing in negative press when they have Barkley, who's literally ratings gold? ESPN is betting big on personality-driven content. That's why they grabbed Pat McAfee. That's why Stephen A is on every screen 24/7. And now, Barkley's their next big move. Sources say his name is all over internal ESPN pitch decks. He's being framed as the everyman voice of the NBA, the one who can cut through corporate noise, call out BS, and still sell ad space. And that's where the insecurity comes in. Instead of cleaning up his image, Shannon's allegedly trying to play defense by going after Barkley, but it's giving desperation, not strategy. So what's next? Charles Barkley is set. He's already said he plans to retire in a couple years, but until then, he's gonna ride this ESPN wave and enjoy the bag. And best believe he's not sweating Shannon one bit. As for Shannon, if he doesn't make a major pivot and get this lawsuit behind him, this could be the beginning of the end. He had a good run, but now it's giving fall from grace. But let's be fair here, this might not be the final chapter. Shannon's still a name, he's still got fans, and if he can bounce back from this lawsuit and get back in control of his image, he might just pull a Joe Budden-style comeback. Either way, that ESPN seat might not be his much longer. So now I've got to ask, was Shannon Sharpe really trying to take down Charles Barkley? Or is this just a messy rumor to cover his own downfall? Is ESPN making the right call betting big on Chuck? And most importantly, can Shannon bounce back? Or has he fumbled the bag for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this drama is getting spicy and we need to talk about it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you stay locked in for the next breakdown, because in this media game, one wrong move and it's a wrap.